All right. Well, this is the Hey Steph podcast.
Sure is.
I'm Justin, and this is Steph. Hey Steph.
Hey, Justin.
Today is episode 4, and we're going to talk about being better. So the general theme of this particular podcast is be better. Now, I want to say before we get started that I guess I can only talk about my personal side of this, but I'm not a perfect person. I think before we start talking about being better, that's funny.
You're welcome.
I think it's important that we say that we are not saying be better.
I know I'm not. I will be the
Fair
first to admit it. I am a big giant. I don't know if I can say that. Can I say shit show? Because I just
Yeah, I don't care if
okay.
you say shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll be the first to admit I am a giant shit show
Yeah.
waiting to happen all the
So
time, every day. You're
yeah.
welcome.
So the things that we'll talk about today doesn't mean that we're better.
No,
We know what we're doing. It's just
no
some things, I don't know, observations.
observations.
Yeah. So I told Steph that we were going to go with a couple things that she thought that she'd like to see. And I think it's just in general, right? It's just like people, like us as a society.
Yeah.
Let's try to do some things to be better.
Right.
Okay. So take it away.
Oh, this is a lot of pressure. When you first said, you can have the first half, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
oh my God, all the things. But am I first so that you can be second and rebuttal all the things I say?
no, because I'm going to rebut the things you say as you're going. And I expect you to do the same thing to me. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not going to sit over here quietly and say nothing.
okay.
Why would I do that?
I know now I feel,
It's all those hearts we got.
ah.
That's great. Okay.
So I don't know. I feel like now, like in speech class, like in front of the class, debate.
We're not debating.
No, I know, but all of a sudden it just felt like that.
Okay.
Um, there's a couple points that I want to make first, again, like the observations. Um, I think in general, my 17-year-old cousin always says to me and his mom, be better. Like you do something and like he'll be like, oh, fail, be better, do better. And I think the irritating thing about it, because when he says it, he's trying to be funny and a little sassy.
Sure.
But he's right. Like that's the irritating thing is like you can always be better, like I mean, the example I was thinking of is, one time we went grocery shopping and forgot something and he was like, well, do better. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's right. It's not, and it's nothing, you can't really take offense to it because
we can all be better.
Right. And I think so that you got to take the emotion out of it. And I think if that is the other thing I want to say is when you feel defensive or, a strong emotion towards somebody saying, hey, maybe this could be better. This way could be better. I think you need to analyze where that emotion is coming from because it might have been a sore spot. And that's probably, that means that it is something you're insecure about.
Yep. As I was going to say, that was one of the things I was going to kind of point out later on was that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you're mad about any of the things that we're bringing up,
right,
there's a fair chance that maybe that's one of those things that you might need to work on and be better.
Right. Yeah. Like I've worked with people in the past who have said, well, that's just the way everybody chooses to see me. My whole life, that's how they've chosen to see me. And I was like, well, if your whole life, all 45 years, people have pointed this out, maybe it's something to look at. And that's not saying that you need to change it. That's not saying that, there's no wrong or right. That's just something to self-reflection.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Sure.
But I think I always tell my boys at the end of the day, we always pray to be better people tomorrow than we were today.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be a conscious choice. So that means, you know what? You're going to make mistakes. And that's good because how else are you going to learn? Right. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to do things that maybe weren't the smartest, but it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow, to be better.
And that's what every mistake or every failure is.
Yes.
Right? It's just an opportunity to learn from it and not do it again or do better the next time. Yeah. I think you've said before, like, hey, sometimes you're kind of smart. And I've always answered you because I've had 39 years of screwing up to learn these lessons.
It's very accurate. See, but because how do you know unless you try?
Right.
And how do you, and I think one thing that I've thought about, not just about this, but to relate it to this is you can always be better. Because do you really, like today, if I am the best I'm ever going to be right now, what's the rest of my life?
Downhill.
Yeah. That's depressing.
Yeah, you don't want to think about that.
No, like if this is my peak.
Ooh. Yeah.
Sad. You're welcome.
Doing a podcast in a garage on a random Tuesday. Yeah. Here we are. We're at the top.
I've made it. But one thing that I think everybody can be better at is compassion for human. I mean, I realize there are some people who take advantage of that, but you can't let that affect you. You got to be you.
So what kind of example do you have for like compassion? Like, what do you mean?
Sometimes people come into situations with their own agenda.
Sure.
And they have blinders on and they're not able to see everyone's point of view. So that has a little bit to do with open-mindedness. But I think sometimes people have a hard time putting themselves in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
So, you know what, you may have an idea, you may think this is what's gonna, this is gonna be the best thing ever. And you may come in and maybe somebody else has another idea and you're just angry that they don't like yours. So like,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like relate to other people, be human.
So like somebody came in with an idea that this is the way to go. Mm-hmm. This is it. And no matter what anybody else says, they see it as an argument.
Yes. The
about
defense.
How they don't know what they're talking about.
Yes.
But it's more of, hey, that was a good idea, but here's another idea that we can work our way through.
And also sometimes, and this is a little more personal, but I mean, like sometimes people are going through stuff and I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's not an excuse to just, not do anything, but sometimes people are going through, multiple deaths in the family or, personal things all at once. Yeah. And if that means that, they need to delegate things or they're taking a little longer to do the things, we're all human. We're all in this together. And what good does it do to be angry and to fight about it? It just doesn't.
No good. It's a lot of extra energy.
Yes. Yeah. It's exhausting. So that, and the other thing too, it's hard to say common sense.
No,
but I mean, like,
absolute one.
I know, but how do you, like, I feel like that's everything. Like, I was just thinking on the way here, I passed some people and I smiled because we're all human. And I like smiling.
What does that have to do with the common sense?
Because, like, well, okay, I guess not the common sense, but I mean, being human.
Sure.
Smile. Like, or like, I guess, okay, the common sense part ties in because.
Like, I don't know how it ties into smiling, but I will tell you.
Because then people like glare back and I'm like, how did that ruin your day?
Maybe you smile really creepy.
So?
Well, I think I like the idea that you touched on common sense. I think that's one of those things that like you can't really put it in a specific situation.
So that's why, yeah, because that, like I said, it kind of encompasses everything.
But I think one thing to help with the common sense part of everything, and I think right now we see it a lot more in our society than we used to. Maybe it's only more because I'm noticing it, but I'm noticing that we are jumping to a conclusion immediately. Like we're not sitting down.
Yeah.
Let's, for example, we see a video of an officer involved shooting or something like that, right? I'm not conveying any belief in either side of that situation. But if you see a 20-second video and you immediately say, this is wrong,
right?
Maybe, but there's probably a little bit more than 20 seconds to that video. Right. So before jumping out right away and saying, this is wrong, this is awful, I can't believe they did this, maybe say, well, this doesn't look great. I wonder if there's more to this.
Right. No, I think that's
just an example. I mean, I'm not.
No, but that does, I think, and maybe like you said, maybe it's happening more, maybe just noticing it more. But I think especially ever since COVID, being at home, really the only way we could connect was internet.
Yeah.
Social media.
Right.
And, or, not just social media, but news stories, all the things on the internet. And people have grown to believe everything that they read or see on the internet without doing any research.
Right. We've got so many people that believe I'm funny. It's not true.
Suckers.
Yep. Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news. We could do that too. But I think that like.
I'm me being funny?
Like, no.
We can do a whole episode on how funny I am.
like a minute, and then the rest. Remember, we were gonna do one on how not funny you are, all the not funny things that you say.
Oh yeah,
do.
Yeah. We need my wife in here for that one.
I think we could get a whole lot of people in here on that one. But I think with that, it's almost like the instant gratification. Like it ties kind of into that. Like everybody wants what they want right now, how they want it right now.
Yep.
And I think that ties into what they see on the internet. They don't want to do the research. They just want to believe at face value.
Sure.
You know, somebody says something, and the problem with that, aside from not getting all the information, is a lot of times these people, like, you know, let's say you say something. Okay, they believe that. I say something different, then they believe that. You know, next person says something different. They believe, like, form your own opinion, get all the information, do the research. Don't just take it at face value. Like, find out, and because you may have a completely different opinion altogether, or you may find information completely different.
Yeah.
So seek the truth.
That's good.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. Seek the truth. Yeah, I like it.
That could be a t-shirt.
Seek the truth.
Seek the truth.
I'll make it.
And you're welcome.
I'll put it up on the site. Anything else that you thought that you'd, in general, like to see people be better?
I'm just
What are a couple of things that you could do better?
Everything. Literally everything. I mean, I think anything in my life, I think about how am I contributing this, good or bad? Because I think every situation, I bring stuff to the table, negative and positive. You just do.
Right.
And so I think I can always work on things. I can always be better. Like I said, if this is the best I am ever going to be.
Sure. But what's a specific thing that you think, like if somebody was like, hey, Steph,
I just really think everything.
What should you be better at? Maybe confidence?
Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe confidence. Yeah, I think that, yeah. Now you got.
Probably, huh?
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, well, and I think too, I was gonna say be a better mom, but I always think that every day. Like I just want to be a better mom. But yeah, no, if I'm really probably the confidence. Wow. I don't know that I have anything else to say after that.
Okay, well, that's pretty much that.
Wow.
We've come to just about the time where we're gonna let it go to the to our sponsor, the Schmick Agency, and take a nice little break. So we dropped a bomb there.
I know. First time in 39 years I've been speechless, I think.
Yeah, probably.
You're welcome.
Ugh. Okay, so we're going to take a break and hear from the Schmick Agency.
Hear that? It's your insurance rates ticking upward. Those big companies need to pay for sponsorships and spokespeople somehow, but it shouldn't come out of your pocket. Turn to Justin Schmick, your independent insurance agent. He'll review your insurance needs and point you in the right direction without all those high-pressure sales tactics. And with Schmick on your team, you won't be just another tick for the big companies.
I'm Justin Schmick. Give me a call at 920-718-0163. That's 920-718-0163. Or visit schmickagency.com.
Okay, we're back from our break. Thank you to the Schmick Agency. While we were on break, Steph thought of another thing that she can maybe try to be better at.
Asking or accepting help. Asking for help, accepting help. I think, sometimes in life you become... I've had a lot of things where I've had to just do the things.
Yeah, and that can be hard.
It can be hard.
Yeah.
And so then it gets to a point where you're like, oh, maybe I could use some help, and accepting that help, and that maybe there isn't a hidden agenda. Maybe it is just people want to help because I want to help people. But then, to put yourself in the reverse and think, well, maybe people just want to help. That's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe a Midwest thing or not, but I feel like a lot of times around here, we just don't.
Right.
Hey, you need a hand with that? Oh, no, I got it.
it.
Oh, for sure.
It's fine.
It'll be fine.
But I think that, like, you help out of the kindness of your heart. You want to help. And then if somebody says no to you, you're like, oh, well, I really did want to help. And it's hard to think of it reversed.
Here's something I could be better at. I'm usually sort of relieved when people say, no, I don't want your help. So, yeah.
Yes.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk about what I want people to
Okay. I am so...
This has been something that's been bothering me since we started doing these videos.
Is it something I do?
No.
Oh.
No.
You say that.
And this, again, I got to say this before I start talking about this because I feel like it's going to sound judgy.
This is a safe space.
Yeah. The internet is not a safe space.
Well, self-proclaimed it's a safe space.
Not even the internet. I won't even take a self-proclaimed
No?
internet.
Okay.
No, it's a scary space where people get really mad. So I want to say just ahead of time, like I've made mistakes somewhat along these lines in the past. You're not a bad person if this ends up being you that I'm talking about. Oh, is that
yeah, no,
you know
that
what I mean? I don't mean you're a bad person,
right.
But I think that I just feel like I need to say something.
I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Well, okay. So since we
good build up, this better be good.
No, it is. Since we started doing these videos, I've been increasingly disappointed in the male species. Like just I'm not ragging on you. Like when you talk with the guys, like that's one thing, but like just the way that that the male species acts towards women, I didn't know it was a thing. Like I didn't really realize what it was and what like you deal with on a regular basis. And by no means any kind of activist. Okay. No.
Oh.
Okay. But I just the amount of comments that we get on our videos that I have to monitor and delete on a daily basis that are inappropriate are
staggering.
It's staggering.
Sorry, not to give you words, but
it is absolutely staggering. And then the things that people will say about you, or like just in general, like I'm okay if somebody's like, "Oh, Steph's hot." Like, okay, cool. You want to put that out there? Go ahead. Whatever. It's fine. But it's just it goes to a whole new level in some scenarios. Like there's people that will just put like this is a grown adult man that will just write nice boobs. And that guy sounds like that. I know. Well, you know who you are. That's what you sound like.
Yeah. I'll triple change it.
Yeah. But that's so like, why? My question is why? Why?
Well, it makes me think like when I used to waitress and I'd get to the table, and again, this might offend some of you, but I'd get to the table and can I get you anything else? $1 million. And I'm like, what response do you want from me? Because literally everybody says that. Well, not everybody, but most of them do. Like, and it's like that. Like when you say nice boobs, what are you looking to get back? Because, first of all, I don't have the Facebook, so I can see them, but I'm not going to respond. Right. And what response do you, I mean, that could go for anything though. When you say anything, when you do anything, what response are you looking for? Maybe think that through, because then you can change your commentary to be better.
Also, another thing to think about is that when you say it like to yourself at your house, like even if you wanted to say it out loud, like you're probably the only one that's going to hear it, right? But if you type it,
it's out there
on the internet
forever.
It's out there forever. And we like, not to brag, but we get at least 10, 15,000 views at least on a video. So that means, and then there's probably like 400 comments or 37 comments, or whatever. That means all those views can go in the comments and see you saying this thing.
Yeah.
And for what reason? Why does it seem necessary to write that? Like, I don't like, I would be the same level of upset if it was the other way around too. Like, why are you saying these things? You know what I mean? It's not going to be.
They said you have nice boobs.
Yeah, I do. But like, I just that thing.
You take a compliment well.
Thanks. Well, it's because I'm awesome and I just know it. That's the one thing I can get better at, being more humble. But it's not even always the comments either. Like those are not great. I have to go through some of those videos when I see that we have 400,000 views. I'm like, oh God, here I go. And I got to scroll through it and I got to delete all these like inappropriate things that people say. And then every once in a while, just so you guys know, I check your profile just to see like if you've got some nice pictures with your wife.
Investigation.
What would your wife say about it? You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about that. Like, what if your grandkids, or what if your kids or your wife saw that you said that? Like, but the whole other thing altogether, what if you saw Steph like on the street, face to face? Would you just say, "Hey, nice boobs"? Like, would you ever walk up to somebody and just say that? Like, it's okay to think it. It's okay. That thought enters my head, not about Steph, but about other people on a regular basis. But I'm not typing it out or saying it to them as they're walking past.
Right.
You know? It's a regular male thing to have that thought in your brain. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's going to creep in there. That's going to happen. Okay. Mm-hmm. Where it gets to the point where it's inappropriate and not, and look, I'm like teacher wise here. I know. But it gets to the point where, like, when you put it out there into the world, whether you put it out there through typing or like through like talking, like once you put it out, it's inappropriate. It's not a good thing to do.
Right.
And it's not just, and like I was saying before, it's not just comments. I get messages from people that friend request me to ask me if Steph is married and if they can have her number or her information. And it's like, well, like you said, what did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen in that scenario?
And yes, what's the outcome? Like,
what's the end game?
What's the end game? What are you thinking? I'm all for, being in the moment on some things, because as an overthinker, as a self-proclaimed overthinker, that's something I could work on. Self-proclaimed. I could be better at thinking a little less, because you shouldn't think about something for a whole week before you decide. But I think sometimes maybe just take a pause.
Is this a good idea?
It's a good idea. What am I hoping will happen?
Yeah.
And if this is my goal, is this the best route to take?
Right.
Is there a more efficient, positive way to get
less
there?
Weird.
Well, yeah.
Like when you're hanging out, like when I'm hanging out with the guys or whatever, we can like say it. Talk to your buddies, talk to your friend, whatever. It's fine. But it's when you reach that threshold of putting it out into public on the internet, that where it's going to stay forever. Like even if I delete it, it's still there.
Still there.
Like I delete it because I don't want other people, because there's kids that watch our videos, and I don't want kids to see. I mean, my kids see those videos. Right. I don't want them to see that kind of stuff.
No, and I think too, like, as the person that some of this stuff gets said to, I mean, sometimes, like, I think that's why taking a compliment is hard, because it gets mixed in with all the, like, because people think that's a compliment, or, you know what I mean? Right. Like, I think that's why it gets hard, because you're like,
but it's
what are they trying to get at? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll have people like ask. I had one person ask for a picture of you. Like, how do I get a picture of Steph? I don't even know what that means. Like, how do you get a but I responded. I said, if you ran into Steph on the street, would you ask her for a picture?
I think that's a huge thing to tie into the internet part. Like, if you wouldn't say it in person,
don't say it on the internet.
Don't say it on the internet.
And that the guy got really mad at me and said, "Are you accusing me of being some kind of pervert?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not accusing you of that.
But but
it seems like that's what you're getting from this. Like, and if that's what you're getting from this, then
sometimes the defensiveness,
right? But again,
it's a nerve.
Like I said, I've made lots of mistakes in my life. I've done a lot of dumb stuff. I've said a lot of dumb things. I've typed dumb things on the internet. So I'm not someone that is without sin in this scenario.
Jokes on the internet.
Yeah. But that being said, let's be better. Let's be a little bit better in that realm. So I'm just asking the fellas. Fellas, can we just be a little bit better?
Nice job, ladies.
Yeah, ladies, thanks for not catcalling them.
What the difference is sometimes. Okay, I have 2 boys. Love them dearly. So smart. But even my almost 10-year-old will be like, kind of oblivious to things. And I think that's the difference. Sometimes females might be just a tiny bit better at taking a pause before they jump and type things. Do you know what I mean? So then you're like, oh no, I can think it, but
right,
I'm not going to put it out there in the universe.
I think we should all do that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's why. I mean, otherwise they'd all be commenting about your boobs. So,
but they are nice.
Right. So ladies, if you want to,
do not. Please.
I thought you were just giving them free range. Go ahead.
No.
Oh.
Private message. Slide into those DMs, ladies.
Oh my God, you're gonna get.
They are not going to. It's going to be just fine.
I hope it's all men.
Either way, I'm happy to talk about it.
It's a compliment. He likes it.
That's
speaking of him.
I bet I can see Funk is saying something on the Facebook Live, so I got to imagine that's probably inappropriate.
Probably.
But yeah, that was my biggest thing that I wanted to talk about.
Like I said, I think it ties into a lot of things, because I think now that everybody's connected all the time on the social medias, all the time, and the internet, I think somehow some filter thing might get switched off, and that like again, there are people who say things and do things on the internet, but don't talk face to face, don't say anything face to face, don't go to the sources, don't go through the proper channels. And so that leads me to say, if you wouldn't do it in person, don't do it on the internet, because really we're all people. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, except OnlyFans, because you can't do that in person, like in the street.
Strange.
Just saying.
Is this a subtopic of the?
It's a little subtopic of it.
Is that like a plug, a shameless plug?
No, I don't have.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know. No. I mean, you were talking about.
Unless I get enough DMs, then
ladies,
maybe. God, I hope my grandma's not watching this.
Yeah, so sorry.
It's not gonna happen, Grandma. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not gonna do it.
We'll make sure. He's gonna be better.
She's Googling OnlyFans right now.
Be better, I promise.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think there's some things that I can do to be better as well. So, like to pivot off of my soapbox that I had to stand on for a little bit there. I think there's some things that I'm falling short on in a lot of aspects.
I'm so excited.
I thought about it a little bit today. One of the things is taking care of myself. Like, I don't do a really good job of. You can tell like, I don't do a really good job of taking care of myself. That's one of the things that I wish I was better at. Like, to be better at like getting up and going. The and consistency exercising.
Though, because I will say you do go through spurts.
Yeah.
I think we all do, but I think you know the things. So you're not. I mean, you're not bad at it.
I get better at it. Like, I live a long time, so that's part of it. Sorry. I think welcome. Another one of the things I can be better at is patience with my kids. Like, I have patience, but I think it's part of like, I have really high expectations for them.
Yes.
And so I lose patience relatively easily because I expect them to know better.
Well, because if you think about it, you can be around somebody else's kids.
And I don't care.
And you don't care, but your kids do the same thing. And you're like,
no, my kids won't do
Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those are a couple of those.
I have witnessed that before where like, and because, your wife will be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like,
she does go like arm touch.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and you're like,
yeah.
Like with the noise.
Or I'm going to yell at you.
They're getting loud. Well, they're kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so I asked the other day, and this is now we're going way off on topic, and I might end up cutting this on this part, but the other day we were talking and she said something like, well, I was complaining about Theo, and she's like, well, he's 8. Like, okay. I said, oh, that's fine. All right. Mm-hmm. But what age is it that I'm going to be allowed to complain about this particular thing? Mm-hmm. Like, are you going to be like, well, he's 46?
Like, don't do that, because I know people who did that. And then,
Mm-hmm. So like, I just want to know what the cutoff age is.
Right.
So
well,
and
I
leaving
think
your stuff around the house. Like, okay, he's 8.
Yes.
All right. Okay. 10.
Right.
15. 30.
And when so when does it come in that you can say it to him? You know what I mean? Like, where like, I mean, because
like, in a more authoritative
venting about it is one thing, but I tell the boys all the time, it can be an explanation, but not an excuse. You know, so you can be like, well, he's 8, but okay, he's 8. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Like
an 8-year-old would. And then
yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my things. But yeah, so those 2 things I think that I could definitely, and I'm sure there's a bunch more, but those are 2 things.
I think every day at the end of the day, it's a good idea to think about what you've done and what you could do. What could you do better? Like, and I think too, then that releases you from feeling massive amounts of guilt for, oh, I should have cleaned up that room, or I should have washed the dishes. Yeah. Or, I mean, those are just minor things, but even then,
I didn't wash the dishes this afternoon.
You gotta be better.
I'm in trouble.
Have the kids do it.
I'll wash them tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully she leaves them.
Just something over it, like a tarp or a towel.
Newspaper.
Yeah. Big daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it right over the top.
Oops.
I
know. I got too excited.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up. We kind of talked about a few different things that we could do better personally, and some things that we'd like to see society or the people that we deal with on a regular basis do better.
Just better humans.
Yeah. And I think that we can all improve, and we can all do better always.
Always.
Which I think that makes this kind of a cool topic. Like, it's not just like, hey, you be better because I'm the best. And you be more like me. Like, I need to be better too. But let's have a little bit of give a little bit of momentum to that being better. better. So let's all just try to be better.
Push or shove.
Now those t-shirts are going to be on the website.
Yeah.
Schmickstuff.com. Be better. little
Better
unicorn.
humans.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I need a stamp.
A unicorn stamp?
Yeah.
Then we'll work on it. All right. Well, that's all that we have then for today. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who
Yes,
have.
thank you.
Thanks to the social medias.
In the comments, just let us know what you want to be better at.
Yeah, that, and tell us what else you'd like us to talk about in future podcasts. So yeah, that'll be it. Thank you so much for being here, and we out.